What's up, idols? It's CC Lesson 3. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I am so sorry that I've been MIA. Oh, child, I was sick. And I know exactly what happened. Was it like a week ago? Two weeks ago? No, a week ago.
About a week ago. With us in there, we tweaking.
Last Sunday, not Comic-Con Sunday, the Sunday before that, we went to see this movie called The Substance. Highly recommend it. And there was a girl behind me coughing the whole time. And the thing is, normally I always have a mask with me. Like, I'm OCD about that. But because I've been trying to be cute lately and like switch up my purses, but like, ooh, this one goes better with this outfit. Not everything makes it in the transfer from purse to purse. And my mask was one of the casualties, which means my health was a part of the casualties. So I was really sick and I am so sorry. It's been over a week. I hate when that happens. But we are back today, baby. So I did upload a vlog like 2 days ago for Comic-Con. And I know that my vlogs aren't that popular on this channel, so I don't do them as much. Clearly, you can see like people don't really watch these vlogs. But it would really mean a lot to me if you guys checked it out. Comic-Con was so fun. It was so crazy. There were so many people coming up to us and we're like doing our poses in character. It was so great. It's cute because there's always like a K-pop section in the Comic-Con, even though it's like Japanese anime and comic books and stuff. But yeah, please check that out. Especially if you guys do want me to vlog more, because again, ever since we started doing story times and stuff, my vlogs have died on this channel. People don't really watch them, and that's fine. But for the people who do like my vlogs, please check that out. Also, I did do a Patreon the other day where lately we've kind of been talking about all these like dreamy 50 Shades of Grey situations in Korea, but not everything is like that. And this girl shared a very awkward sexual encounter with a guy, how she's kind of wanted to be over. He ended up peeing on her foot. It was awkward. He didn't know what foreplay was, dog. I'd say he was about 6'2", but nowhere in his profile did it say anything about his height at all. When we first met up, he was just way too funny. He was really laid back too. I got the sense that he was very comfortable in his own skin, and that was very refreshing. Also, speaking of skin, he was literally glowing. I need his skincare routine. So yeah, he checked all my boxes. And because I didn't get a lot of free time, I had no time to waste. I had to make the most of the moment, and I invited him back to my place that night.
And
After watching him fidget around a bit, first he put his hands behind his head, then on my knees, then folded on his belly like he was in a coffin. So I just put his hands on my breast and told him to play with my nipples, and he did. But he squeezed my nipples too hard and it hurt. So I told him to grab my thighs. He grabbed my throat instead. I gotta try not to laugh because it's gonna make me cough. It's gonna trigger the coughing fits. Don't laugh, don't laugh. And it caught me off guard when he grabbed my throat, so I choked and he panicked. Damn this language barrier. So that will be linked below in the description. For this video, you guys see the title, so let's jump right in. I don't mean to brag, but you know, I've lived in Korea for a while and I'm about to go back soon, yay. So I've done my fair share of dating in South Korea. One thing I feel like I've noticed, especially in recent years, a lot more people are interested in Asian men just like in general, but specifically Korean men. And I think they're starting to clock this. And I think that is giving rise to lots of fuckboys. There's a lot of fuckboy behavior, unfortunately. But I feel like a lot of people ask, you know, the same questions. Do they like foreign girls? Would they date a black girl? Do they like white girls? Do they like Indian girls? Do they like Latinas? And I don't like to say that any group of people is a monolith. Like, I would never say they all do or they all don't. It's like the same with black women. Do black women like white dudes? Some do and some don't. It's the same with your race, and that is the same with Koreans. From my experience, the answer to that question is definitely yes. They definitely do like foreigners, and we're going to get into some of the trends I've noticed as this video progresses. Also, stay tuned for the end because I'm going to have a few little tips for y'all if y'all want to date in Korea. Dating on dating apps is totally different from like being told you're attractive in real life with no, benefit to that person. That's why like compliments from girls hit different and compliments from the gays just feel amazing, because they're not saying it because they want something from you. They're saying it because they genuinely feel it, So I'll never forget when me and my friend Ebony were going to Marado. It's like the southernmost point in South Korea. And we're about to get on the ferry and we're like excited because we're about to be on a boat, And this guy was just kind of looking around. He just stopped and stared at him. He's like, "Oh, so beautiful." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." And he just walked away. Made my day because he wasn't like, "You trying to make a clap for me?" He just walked away and I was great. So my experience dating in Korea, like I've done a lot of story times about what that's been like for me on this channel. The ghosting, the fuckboys.
사랑해, 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 사랑해요, 안녕하세요, 사랑해.
The jealousy, but then like even though they're the ones who left you or ghosted you, but then getting mad because you went out with somebody else, and just mixed signals, horrible communication. But also, I did date a really great guy there. Still, to this day, nothing bad I can say about him. I just feel like dating apps, personally, I wouldn't recommend it. Like, don't get me wrong, there are people who meet their husbands and their wives on Tinder, but it's just, to find that one gem, you got to go through a lot of shit. That is not a phrase, is it? Gems and shit, that don't go together. Diamond in the rough, that's kind of, or needle in the haystack. You get the idea. One thing I've noticed, why did I say it like that? It's me, I'm Mario. One thing in particular that I've noticed is in recent years, like super recent years, international people are like making their presence known in Korea. Foreigners are on the rise. Worldwide, international and interracial relationships are just growing because we're all much more connected than we've ever been, and that's just natural. This is also true in South Korea. So yeah, when you go to South Korea and you start dating, you do start to notice some things and some differences. And I've noticed that a lot has changed in the last 10 years or so. I feel like Korea is desperate, or nearly incredibly desperate, to get young couples to date and marry and reproduce. I even read this morning that there's a law that bans you from marrying your cousin, and it's set to like expire, and there's no plan to renew that. So like, they like, if you marry your cousin, hey, it's a marriage and it's a baby.
Brother,
Even like the South Korean government is sponsoring these dating programs and dating events. You can get credits at certain universities, not all universities. You can get credits for dating. Like, the struggle is real out here. They are grinding, trying to get y'all in relationships again. South Korea has come up with an idea to sponsor dating, marriage, and stay of couples who marry for the first time with the help of the government. As per the government, people setting out on blind or regular dates can now continue to do so with the government assistance. They can get serious and marry in public museums or parks and pay around 10,000 Korean won in monthly rent for their new home after marriage. The city of Busan has come up with an idea of gifting 64,000 to couples who decide to marry and have children. Busan is aggressive. And this is one thing that kind of made me want to talk about this in particular. Notably, the city of Busan also aggressively promotes romantic partnerships among young people. This October, the Sahagu district will hold a day of unmarried foreign and local men and women's meetings. That's a mouthful. Y'all can do better with that title. It will evaluate applications, select participants, and set up blind dates between them. That's crazy. Korean couples with children can get like free taxi rides. Like, there's all these incentives to have babies again in Korea. Married couples are exempt from hospital bills and IVF treatments. With South Korea's fertility rate plummeting, the city of Songnam, the fourth largest in the country, has resorted to organizing mass blind dates in the hopes of reversing the declining birth rate. Prospective parents are being enticed with various incentives, including cash rewards and housing subsidies. But the thing is, all this is not really working, and here's kind of my point to this video. Back when I started doing research into like moving in Korea, living in Korea around like 2014, I feel like a lot of the vlogs and a lot of the story times I heard from South Korea where people were dating was met with a lot of resistance from Korean parents and Korean elders. Like,
I don't make mistakes. I'm not just like the rest of you. I'm stronger. I'm smarter. I'm better. I am better.
Find yourself a nice Korean girl. You should be with a Korean man. These foreigners, no.
no!
But these days, especially with all the story times I get coming in, I feel like Koreans just want babies again. Like, I think they're a lot less resistant. I think they're a lot more accepting. I think Korean people are quickly becoming way more open-minded and accepting of foreigners. That combined with the fact that right now, the number of foreigners living in South Korea for like a long-term situation is at a record high. I mean, there's a lot of foreign workers coming in to replace the rapidly aging workforce and population. There's also a lot of foreign students in Korean universities. There's a lot of people in the military who are foreigners. And with all these new visas that they have introduced and plan to introduce, the whole Filipino nanny scheme, like, there's a lot going on to try to introduce non-Koreans to Korea. So yeah, like when I get these story times, every now and then we do hear like the "don't bring that monkey into my home." Yes, sadly, that was a real story. But I feel like these days that is becoming like an afterthought. These Korean elders and parents just want their kids to have kids. I feel like a lot of, not all, because, you know, every country is different, but a lot of foreign women who are like in the position to move to South Korea and live in South Korea come from a country or a system where they're not as oppressed as Korean women, so they're more readily willing and able to have babies and get married. Like in the States, here in the UK, there's pregnant people everywhere, bro. Like everybody is pregnant around. I see pregnant people everywhere I go. And people are still constantly getting married and still want to get married. And that is something they're really struggling with in South Korea. All the money that Korea's government is constantly throwing at Korean men and women to have babies is not working. And I feel like a lot of elders and parents are losing hope that their kid will find someone or their kid will give them grandbabies, that when they say, hey mom, I met someone, and it turns out to be a foreign girl, they're just like, yay, you finally met someone. Like even in 2018, my ex-boyfriend, when I was in Korea, his mom never knew about us because he says she wouldn't approve.
What you say, that you only meant well. Why?
They don't care about all the foreigners coming into their families, all the mixed grandbabies. They just trying to get these numbers up. That's just an observation I've noticed. I feel like this is something that needs to be explored a lot further because it kind of surprised me because I'm so used to that resistance of, find a nice Korean girl, find a nice Korean boy. And now they're just like, oh, you found someone, that's so great. It's crazy how quick this has happened. Back in like 2013, 2014, when I was looking at foreigners living in Korea vlogs and they would talk about their dating life, so many of these videos were, oh, I met this great guy, but his parents won't know, they can't know. I met this great girl, but I think her mom wants her to be with a Korean guy. And now it's just like interracial Korean American couple, Blasian couple. Like it's so normal now. Anyway, if you guys made it to the end, I just wanted to share like 5 helpful tips if you do want to start dating in South Korea. Nothing, life-changing, just something that I think would really make a difference. Number 1, obviously, learn Korean. Not only does it just expand your pool of potential eligible bachelors, but when the family sees that you speak Korean and you're making that effort, it means so much to them. It just makes it easier for them to accept and embrace you. It makes it easier for everyone to communicate with each other. Learn Korean, become as fluent as you can. And the next thing goes with that. Don't be afraid to approach these boys. Like, don't be afraid to make the first move. In my experience, unfortunately, I always find that I'm the one that makes the first move when I date someone or I'm interested in dating someone. Whether I send the first message, whether I'm asking let's meet up first, or if I ask if they're single. Like, I'm a really shy person, so it's hard for me, okay? But I find the courage somewhere in my cojones. I do it.
Do it!
And I've always been met with positivity from the guy that I asked. They're like, whoa, like, oh my God, like you asked me? Like that's unheard of. Especially if you approach them speaking Korean, it goes a long way. I am a girl, so I'm not used to Korean girls approaching me. I don't know how common it is for Korean girls to approach a guy they like, but I do know that every time that I've approached a Korean dude, whatever, they just act so shocked, like, oh, you're so bold, and they like it. Obviously, like, don't be aggressive or anything like that. Just ask if they have a girlfriend, tell them, hey, you're my style. Maybe not like that, because that's cringe. But, let them know you're interested. Make sure they're single first, and hopefully they're not lying. And, exchange cacao, exchange Instagrams, exchange numbers, whatever, and then plan to meet up afterwards. Number 3, and this is one I hear a lot of, like, Korean people kind of complain about with foreigners. If you want to start dating in Korea, plan to be there long term, because nobody really wants to start a relationship that they know has an expiration date. If you're just looking for like a fling, these dating apps, they got you. You're no problems there whatsoever. But if you're looking for love, or if you're looking, to catch feels and fall and find your forever person, then plan to be there long term. If you're only studying for a few months or you only want to teach for a year or something like that, it's harder for people to take you seriously when they know you're not going to be there long term. Number 4, I would actually encourage you guys to participate in these government-sponsored dating mingling events. They're popping up everywhere. Like back in my day when I first got to Korea, a lot of people, there was Sogeting and there was a lot of blind dates and stuff. But now the government is stepping in because they're like, we need to get these numbers up. Like we need y'all to start dating and get married and have babies again. So there's a lot. It's a lot of, and the good thing about that is the guys and girls going to these events are mutually also interested in finding someone long-term or more serious, and not just like, oh, I just want to have fun, only fun, like a lot of these bios say on dating apps online. Tinder is the devil, but Meef is also bad. And I think one really important thing I want to leave you guys with is try not, and this is way easier said than done, but try not to let the beauty standards overwhelm you. That is one thing I completely understand people struggling with. I too have struggled with that. I feel so good when I leave the house. I feel A1. I'm like, okay, my makeup looks good, my outfit's cute, my hair is hairing, and then I see my reflection in the mirror and I'm like, I'm a troll. It's really hard. The standards there are insane. You're expected to be like super skinny and have like really long beautiful hair and like the tiniest face and really big eyes. That is one advantage we do have as foreigners. I get compliment on my eye size all the time in Korea. But like the lips and your cutesy makeup, and you're not allowed to age, and no signs of aging, no wrinkles whatsoever. Like, it's really hard. And I would just try to don't let it get to you. Don't. Honestly, that was one of the reasons I wanted to leave Korea. I was like, I'm sick of this. I'm tired of this, grandpa.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad.
Anyway, that is just something I wanted to share with you guys. I found that article interesting, and the fact that, you know, we out here, foreigners, we making our moves. We move. Anyway, if you guys want to see some of these story times I've been talking about in this video, because we get a lot of foreign girls dating Korean guys in Korea, the good, the bad, the ugly, the ghosting, the love, all that, check out the playlist. It's about to pop up on the end screen, and you can get dialed into the tea. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Annyeong.